Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our 9-month Ultimate World Cruise Adventure. And today we're on the very southernmost tip of Europe, and we take on the evil, well, purportedly evil, monkeys of Gibraltar.
Welcome to Living Phase 2.
Hi, I'm Mike.
And I'm Nancy, and we're empty nesters striving to live life to the fullest.
We're living that full life aboard Royal Caribbean's 9-month Ultimate World Cruise on Serenade of the Seas.
Well, we are, friends, and today we are in Gibraltar. So Gibraltar is on the northern side of the Straits of Gibraltar between Spain and Morocco, but it is the southernmost point of Europe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a kind of interesting. It's a little piece of England at the bottom tip of Spain. They have always had this part of the United Kingdom for decades and decades, and so they have never returned it, or there's always been talk about should Gibraltar go back to Spain. But it also is a very, very strategic point in the world, being right there on the Straits of Gibraltar. And so I think the UK is going to keep it, and frankly it's very unique to be able to go to a little piece of the United Kingdom here in here in the part of Spain. A lot of cruise ships stop here as well. So if you're taking a Mediterranean cruise, a transatlantic cruise, there's a very good chance you're going to stop here in Gibraltar.
Right, and we have to see the famous Rock of Gibraltar.
That's right, and these famous monkeys that we talked about.
Right.
So we're going to tell you a little bit about those here a little bit later. We decided to get off. Now, we did a lot of research, and in doing that research, we found that when you get off your cruise ship or come into Gibraltar, there are going to be taxi cab drivers there, and those taxi cab drivers are actually dedicated to all-day tours. There's only certain cabs that will do cab rides if you just want to go to a particular place. Most all of them are looking to give you a tour and be paid for the whole day.
Right, so that's what we ended up doing. Now these taxis are large. They can actually hold up to 8 people. There were only 4 of us that were getting off the ship at this time, and rather than waiting for 4 more people to get off the ship who maybe we don't know necessarily, we just decided to pay a little bit extra for a private tour, so it was just the 4 of us for the day. And the very first place, though, he took us to was the lighthouse down. It was the southern tip. So we got to say now that we've been to the very southern tip of Europe. But this lighthouse, we got to look out onto the ocean, and we actually saw whales. He called them fin whales that were out there. So that was neat to see.
Beautiful overlook. I enjoyed that a lot. We saw some monuments there. Just got to walk around. This was what was nice about, I think, having a private tour where we just hired the taxi cab driver.
Right.
We took as much time as we wanted. There was no rushing. We had him pretty much all day that we wanted. Right. So we enjoyed a walk around, got some pictures. You can see the beautiful views, and I enjoyed that a lot.
So there also was the Pillar of Hercules.
Right,
there.
This was the purported location of the northern Pillar of Hercules. Now the Pillars of Hercules, one was in Morocco on the south side of the Straits of Gibraltar, and one was purportedly on this side, and it would have bookended the Straits of Gibraltar here. And this point, this southernmost point, was where this giant sculpture, this giant pillar, was supposedly located. So
he also had taken us on kind of a little drive through the city, just kind of pointed some things out. And the next place, though, that he took us to was the
St. Michael's Cave.
Yeah, the cave of St. Michael's, and this was really beautiful. This was a great stop here. So we actually went into the cave, and they've done it as almost kind of a light show. So some of the stalactites look like an angel inside the cave, and then when they shine the specific lights on it, boy, you can really see it. So that's very cool. And as you continue on into the cave, there's a huge open area that has very good acoustics. They will have concerts down there. They have a lot of seating there. And so you go up and you'd sit in the seating, and they would do a light show all throughout the cave, this big cave room that you're in. And that was very cool.
With music matching the lights.
Right, right.
I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah,
I did
too.
Yeah, we go into a lot of caves here on the World Cruise.
Yes.
And in
that
fact,
was beautiful.
Yeah,
that was neat.
In fact, we've been joking, the people that our friends that we went on this tour tour with, we've become known as the cave explorers because, we've gone into lava tubes and all kinds of caves or tunnels or, and by the way, Queen Elizabeth actually did visit the St. Michael's Cave too. So that's something I think worth mentioning.
That's a must-do stop if you come here.
It is. Then the next place we went to after that was the floor. Yeah.
Yes, we climbed. We were outside and climbed up some steps, and there's a glass floor. Well, it was very, very dirty.
Yeah, The theory is that you're supposed to hang out over, and you're kind of right there at the Rock of Gibraltar. You're hanging out over the edge, and you're walking on glass. But it was so dirty, it didn't really give the effect.
Scary.
Yeah, but I went ahead and hiked up to the top of the rock.
You did. It was still a little foggy, but I think fog was starting to kind of break up a little bit. And I think you got a pretty good view up there.
Yep, got some good pictures. Walked on up there. It is a bit of a walk, so if you're going to do it, just make sure some of the steps are uneven. But yeah, I enjoyed that a lot. I got the view. I got on top of the Rock of Gibraltar and then came down and met you there. Now this is where we started to encounter some of the monkeys.
Right. So let's talk about the monkeys.
You tell your monkey story.
Everybody had been warning us about the monkeys. These monkeys are thieves, and how they train the monkeys to be thieves, and there's all this on the internet that you can see monkeys stealing cell phones and getting into bags and ripping your eyeglasses off your face, and people just had me kind of worked up. Honestly, I brought 2 pair of eyeglasses along on the world cruise. This is my current pair, but I brought along an older pair, and so I did switch out my glasses and I put on the older pair because that was the one thing I thought, if I lost my glasses,
they steal your glasses.
I just don't want to lose my glasses. I could lose a lot of things, but I don't want to lose my glasses. So I put my older pair on. Those monkeys are so docile. They have a whole area there where they feed the monkeys. The monkeys are not there's no stealing monkeys. There's not. I mean, now that said, if you antagonize the monkeys or disturb them in some way, that may be a different story. In fact, we saw a different taxi driver enticing a monkey up on a man's shoulder with food and getting the monkey to pose on the man's shoulder, and his family got in there for pictures. So,
our guide was like, I don't know why they do that. They shouldn't do that. That monkey, because people will... The monkey will jump on their shoulder, and even though the guide's telling them, they'll jerk or something, and then that scares the monkey, and then the monkey can scratch you.
Yes.
And our guide says he sees it all the time that they do this. But yeah, here's what we'd say is, don't listen to everything out on the internet, even though we're on the internet with this. And don't be afraid to go up Gibraltar because you're afraid the monkeys are going to attack you. Just be sensible.
On the ship that absolutely refused to go up there because they were afraid of those monkeys. And
it's really a shame too, because
it was a shame because they're very docile.
They were, yeah. And all this don't go up the Rock of Gibraltar because the monkeys will attack you. That was not the case at all. Now there are a few places where there's more monkeys than the area we were in, but in general, if you have seen our videos like on Bali where we went to the monkey forest, I mean, there were many, many more monkeys there, and we didn't really run into any issues with the monkeys. So fear not the monkeys. Fear not the monkeys.
I agree.
So after we went through and came down from the Rock of Gibraltar, after we took some pictures of the monkeys, we then went to the siege tunnels. So these are tunnels that the British built by hand, digging under the rock and under the large hill here to protect the harbor and be able to guard it, and also to ensure that nobody ever took Gibraltar from the British. It was a way that if there was ever under siege, they could retreat into these tunnels. And it was, I found it very fascinating.
It was interesting. They've really kind of turned it into almost a museum. I mean, they've got mannequins or soldiers inside there, and things that you can listen to as you walk through these tunnels. Hark, who goes there? And just you can look out over the bay and over different areas as you go through the tunnels. But they've done a nice job with it.
I would agree. They've got the cannons where, where they're shooting, pointing out over the bay. But one of the nice things is once you go through the whole siege tunnel and get to the very end, there is a beautiful view of the bay there.
There sure is.
Yeah. Now, one thing that's very unique, though, that you can see from these siege tunnels is the Gibraltar Airport. Now, what makes it unique is there's a road that actually crosses the runway, and there's gates, drop gates that stop traffic whenever an airplane's going to land, and you can actually walk across the runway. We had some friends do it. You could see some video we took from the siege tunnels. I used to be a pilot, so I've been to runways. I used to work in aerospace.
Walk across it,
yeah, so we didn't take the time to drive down there and just walk across the runway. But the people that did it said that it was kind of interesting. It's very unique to be able to walk across a commercial runway, and they enjoyed it a lot. Yeah. But that is a activity that a lot of people do when they go to Gibraltar, so something to think about if you're interested in it. Right. Well, then from the siege tunnels, we started driving back down the mountain, back off the rock, and our guide pointed out that this is where the opening sequence of the James Bond film, The Living Daylights, was filmed. And
you boys found that very interesting.
Yeah, and I actually had to go back and look at that opening sequence, and it's The Living Daylights. So that was a lot of fun. It was kind of interesting to be right where they filmed one of the James Bond movies. Well, our tour was pretty much done now. He hit all the points that he said he was going to hit, right. And we still had a couple hours before all aboard.
Right, so he took us downtown and he dropped us off down at the Old Town. It was about a mile away from the ship, and so this was a good spot to walk around, have some lunch. We stopped at St. Mary's Cathedral, looked inside, very, very beautiful, very just stunning to look at. But then we walked on to what was purported to be the most famous fish and chips place there, but we'll give it an 8.
Yeah, it was okay. Yeah. I think yours was better than mine. Roy's. I actually tried to order something a little smaller, and it threw them off. Instead of the standard just fish and chips, I ordered like the fish pieces or something because I didn't want quite as much, and that seemed to throw them off, and it caused an issue. But yours was good. You enjoyed it.
I thought it was delicious.
The other people around it really liked it. We thought, well, we're actually in Britain. We're in the United Kingdom. Let's get fish and chips. But it was good. I mean, if you're there, Roy's is probably the best place to go to get it, and it's right on the main square. They are most of the time very quick and efficient. They get a lot of people in and out of there, so yeah, give a Roy's a try. But we also wanted to have one more beer at a English pub, so we went to the Lord Nelson pub, which it was really interesting on the inside. It's kind of done up like a old sailing ship on the inside, and we sat in the courtyard, just had a drink with some friends, and just enjoyed our time in Britain before, which is actually the southern part of Spain.
Kind of in the same courtyard area, so everything was very, very close.
Right.
But then after that, it was time to walk back to the ship and getting closer to all aboard time. And now we've got 2 more sea days coming up, but then we're going to be getting into the very, very busy time of just port after port after port. But we did do some fun things during these sea days. They had a boat float contest where you built a boat, and you and your friends built a boat.
Yeah. We just got together, and a friend and his wife had a bunch of crafting things, and we had bottles and different stuff, and we thought, well, let's have some fun with this. We have a sea day. Let's go out and do something interesting. So we put our heads together and came up with the Abomination of the Seas. And
the good news was they won.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, you guys did a great job. You put a lot of thought into, a lot of engineering went into this boat. Yeah. Well, another fun thing that we did is there was another poker crawl, a poker crawl where you get a poker card at each bar that you go to. So we go to 5 different bars and you get 5 different cards, and whoever has the best poker hand is the winner, and everybody chips in $10 to play. So that was fun.
That always is fun. And in this case, it was done for a good cause. We actually raised money for an orphanage that some people on the ship had visited in Ghana, and so we ended up raising a total of almost $1,500 for this orphanage through different donations, the poker pub crawl, different things. And in fact, the winners of the poker pub crawl actually donated their winnings to the charity as well. So yeah, it's a nice way to raise money for a good cause and have a lot of fun.
And then one evening, the headline show was Whitney's show. Now, Whitney is one of the singers of Royal, and something that's been very unique to this ship is the singers have all got to have their own personal show where they've kind of gotten to tell their story about singing and just their story in general, along with lots of wonderful songs. And Whitney did a great job. We had a great time at that. But
Yeah, we loved it.
well, Mike, would you go back to Gibraltar?
In this case, probably not, simply because Gibraltar is very small. I mean, it's, we pretty much saw all of Gibraltar.
We did.
We saw the rock, we saw the monkeys, we saw the caves, we saw the.
And do I need to go back and see it again?
No. But again, like we've said many times, if you're going on a transatlantic cruise, if you're going on a Mediterranean cruise, many cruise ships stop here at Gibraltar. They make it a stop. I'd get off the ship and have some fish and chips or something,
Absolutely.
or just walk around the town. It's a quaint little town, but no, there's not really a reason to make a special trip just to come back to Gibraltar.
Right.
But we had a great time coming here, and chances are we'll be on a transatlantic cruise that'll probably stop here again anyway. But yeah, not to make a special trip necessarily. Well, tomorrow.
Corfu, Greece. So Corfu, we're going to see the highlights there.
Yeah, we're going to go through. This is our first Greek stop. We've never been to Greece.
Right.
So as many of you know, with the redirection around Africa and all the changes, Corfu is actually where we're getting back on track, and everything is back on track now to our original itinerary. But we lost all our other Greek ports because of going around Africa. But now with Corfu, we're back on. We're going to see that and see some beautiful, and have a great Greek lunch. So
that's right.
Yeah. Well, we hope to see you again next time.
Thanks, friends, for watching. We appreciate you. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.